how we applied for the first time to US colleges and could not get good acceptances or good aids, and we tried it next time on our own, and we were able to secure the seat for the class of 2017 in different US institutions. Perhaps we can keep our questions until the end of the sessions. So let's start the session with my introduction once again. I'm Pawan Aryal and I will be going to University of New Orleans for the class of 2017.
Hello, I'm Gambhir Kunwar and actually I'm from Pokhara, and I'm now going to share about my story, how I knew about the college application, how I applied and how I got admission. Actually, I came from Pokhara for the first time in Kathmandu. It was really shocking experience for me because first time coming in these big cities, it was like, oh, I got like frustrated as well as also excited. When I came, I also attended like around 3 sessions in Pokhara of USEF. And I came to know about USEF from there only. And first time I came in USEF and I met Salma ma'am. And she was very nice to me also. And she told me about how I can start my application process. And at that time, she also suggested me to apply for opportunity funding. It was like a dream come true because I was not able to stay in Kathmandu for a long time and there is no USCF in Pokhara. So if I had been in Pokhara, I could not get like information here. So I applied to opportunity funding and luckily I got opportunity funding.
Okay. Like Gambhir's brother story, I have a strange story too. Unlike most of the students, I tried my first round of college application at my senior year. That's what most usually US students do. They apply. They do not generally take gap years, and they apply at the US at the senior year. That is the last year after high school. And I came to know about at that time USEF was not quite popular at our college. Like I can see many faces from my college now. I somehow came to know about USEF and I had come to USEF just for trying to know what it was about. And then I saw the posters about opportunity funding, and I thought that I could be eligible to apply for OL program. So I tried, and I fortunately got in the program. And through that program, we both applied to US colleges, and unfortunately, we did not get proper aids or good acceptance at that time. Okay. Talking about what went wrong last year, why could not we secure our class for the first round of applications? We are going to present a few points. And college resources. I think this was the biggest mistake I did during my first round of college applications. My intended major was mechanical engineering. I had harbored the dream of studying engineering since my very childhood. And when I came here and thought about researching colleges and looking at their aid status, I was pretty surprised that only very few colleges who had offered mechanical engineering courses gave aids, financial aid. But however, other colleges during my web session said that you do not need to be concerned about your major now, but you can focus it later. But since I had harbored since my very early period of my life, I did not want to change my major at that point of time. So when I applied to the US colleges, I applied to the colleges only by seeing their rankings. I thought only the top colleges give aid, only the best colleges will give me good engineering education. So I applied to only the top colleges, and unfortunately, my college list was filled with only top top 30 colleges, maybe. Top 30 colleges. Since almost many of the US colleges are very competitive, getting acceptance from those top 30 colleges was very hard for me. So I could not get proper aids and proper acceptance from those colleges. And yes, this college resources was a very important, very biggest mistake of my that round.
Lack of confidence. I'm going to tell about that. Actually, when I came to Kathmandu, like I didn't have confidence because there was like no parents for me, and I didn't get chance to be in home like there. And this was my first time ever from outside my home. And I was even misunderstood. Like I was like misunderstood even by small places because I didn't know about USCF, exact location about USCF, and I used to go around the USCF, and I used to think like, yeah, I'm going to do like this efforts or not, because I didn't have confidence that even doing like these efforts I will get acceptance into college or not. And what was my biggest mistake is like I used to think that I'm going to, from first round of application, I used to think that I'm going to do this in next year, not in this year. This was my big mistake, because you should have in your mind that you are going to give your 100% in this year only. Because I didn't get my home ambience, I thought like I will return to my home, I will just start my application process from there only, and I will start my application essay, and even the problem was with my recommendation letter also, and other like that also. So I didn't have confidence like I will get this year and I will go to the US to study. So I lacked my confidence, and due to that problem only, I used to think every factor for second time. That was my big mistake.
Okay, next mistakes that was at the first round of our college application was time management. I would like to first know that are there any high school students over here?
Who are currently studying in colleges, like.
Every one of you are in gap year?
Are you taking gap year now?
So, okay. When I was at my, during my first round of college application, I was at my senior years, and I had my board exam as well. I was studying A-levels exam, so exam pressure was there, and because of which my teachers would, I had to attend web sessions as well. Because of which my teachers would also warn me about degrading my grades or getting bad grades, and they would say that if you get acceptance into big colleges but do not get good grades, then that acceptance won't matter at all. And so it was like I had a very hard time managing my time for college applications. I had to manage my time for my own assignments, and I had to manage time for my college researches. I had to manage time for SATs. I had to manage time for writing, for asking recommendations. So I want to say that time management is not possible if you are not studying if you are in your high school. But what I mean to say is that time management is very important if you are even in a gap year. Even if you are in gap year, you have to do many things aside from this college application process. You have to convince your parents or that you won't lose this year as well. So if you cannot manage time properly, then you are going to have very great loss in your college application process.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about this limited extracurricular activities. Actually, you are going to take gap year, and if you show in your application that you are only studying SATs but not doing any like extracurricular activities, then it will be very much demerit for you only. Because they don't want the student who will study 24 hours SAT. They want every round of application, and one is that SAT is only one component of your application. That is, if you get 2400, then there is no guarantee that you are going to get admission into Harvard. There is no like guarantee. But if you like start doing like extracurricular activities, and if you show that in your application, then that will be very much useful. And during my first round of application, I used to come to USEF because there was no because I didn't know anyone in Kathmandu, and I didn't know how to start my extracurricular activities. I just studied like SAT and I attended opportunity funding program sessions only, and I didn't get opportunity to do some volunteer works or some extracurricular activities that would benefit my application. So I recommend you that you start doing volunteer works or extracurricular activities. We will be talking this in more detail later on, but I want that was my big mistake, that I only look after like SAT and also like in other components except extracurricular activities. Okay. About this, what about with application essays and supplements for long time? When I started to think about that, I will reapply for the college this year. I will take one more gap year. That I started first with my college application essays, because it is very much important for you. If you have even low score or like the other component that is very big, then you can show your strong point through your application essays. And application essay means what you are and what can you show about you to the admission officer. That is about. And just I started my application access, and I started around July or August, and it took around 3 months to complete my application access, and then also I started supplements. So work out with your applications.
So I talk about what was my mistakes in my first round of application. That was improper college ratios. And this year I tried to focus more on college ratios this year. Last year I had applied to only the top universities of US, which did not guarantee me a position for the class. But this year I started researching about colleges after I completed my high school. And then this year I applied to around 16 colleges, and unlike last year, this time I had balanced college list. Like I had around 5-6 colleges that would guarantee me for the class of 2017, and yes, I got into those colleges with good grades as well. And there are a few top universities which maybe I could get into, and there were a few colleges which would meet my requirement but could not guarantee my class as well. So all the college shows I strongly recommend you as well.
Okay. I'm going to talk about recommendation. What actually in my previous year happened is that I went to school for my recommendation letter, and what the teachers did was that they sent my recommendation in old format. That they used to have a format, and they used to just change the name and just send. They used to keep your name in place of others' name, and they used to send your recommendations, and that is not going to be useful because it will not show your character, what you are. This will not represent what you are. So I personally met every teachers. Even I did not have guidance counselor in my school, so I made my +2 coordinator as guidance counselor, because guidance counselor is going to be very important for you, because he is going to walk throughout your application process. I'm going to talk about one thing. I think I applied to American University also, and during that time the counselor, I think the admission officer from American University want to talk with my guidance counselor. So that is going to be very important. So you should make sure that your guidance counselor or any other teacher know about your application. You are on the process of your application process. They should be sure that if any admission officer contact you, then you should be sure that they know about you. They can confidently tell you that you are the person who is applying, and they can show who you are. They can show your character, your discipline, and many others. And I think most of you are going to apply through your common app. And I think if you are doing online, then yeah. What I recommend is that you contact your teachers as well as guidance counselor, and so that you are the one, because there may be other person also applying, and the guidance counselor may be confused that who the student is actually. So you should be sure that your guidance counselor knows you, and he writes your application personally, not in the old format, but personally. And next thing is about interview. Actually, I don't know how many of you know that college offer interviews in your application process throughout. If you want interview, then you can suggest. And one thing I want to tell is, if you have any problem in your application, or if you have any doubt, then please contact your admission office. They are very much soft and very much helpful, that they immediately reply your email. So contact them. And what I did for Whitman College is that I wanted to give interview. I had already given interview, and I want to share this, that I was waitlisted in previous year. In Whitman College, I was waitlisted in previous year, and now I got admitted. And I knew about the admission officer, and I told that I want to give interview, and he suggested me one of the senior from Kenya to give interview, and I gave interview in Skype. And she was so much surprised that I knew a lot about Whitman College. Even when she was arriving to Whitman College, she didn't have much knowledge about that. She was much excited about that, and she was also much impressed. I'm going to talk about my volunteer boss later on, and she was also much impressed by my volunteer boss. And what happened to my SAT score? My SAT score was not much high, and I constantly improved my SAT score. I gave three times SAT, and it constantly improved, and she was much impressed by my improvement.
Okay. There are, first firstly, I would like to talk about that there are two kinds of grades that institution provides to us students. That is, there are need-based grade and merit-based grade. Need-based grade are based on your financial condition, how much you can pay, and they will afford a scholarship according to that. And the other one is the merit-based scholarship. Everyone say that you must have been preparing SAT for quite a long time now, actually. What SAT score helps us is that they help us to guarantee us some kind of merit scholarship, some kinds of they help us to guarantee that we have student with certain kind of caliber, we have student with certain kind of quality. SAT score is not that important, but SAT score will certainly be helpful. If you want to guarantee your admission at universities, you definitely have to work on SAT scores.
And this is what happened when we walked for second time and we got finally into the college. He got into University of New Orleans and I got admission into the Whitman College. And there is one quote: life is not bed of roses, but it does pay off if you think you are worth of it. If you work hard, then finally it pays off to you. Okay, confidence, desire, and self-determination. What I suggest is that don't think that you will not get admission in this year, or don't think that if I am also very much perfect, or if I am also very much in merit of a college application, don't think that I will not get admission. Think that, yeah, I can get admission in the college. You should think about your positive side of your character. Don't think that, yeah, I like this, I like that, I like this. Don't think negative, but think that, yeah, you have something to get into admission. Even we hear stories like that. Even the perfect score didn't get good colleges, and even the low scorer get admission into nice colleges. That happens when you have confidence and you have desire also. You are very much in a hungry that you want to grab college position. So you should think about that. And here is one quote also. Actually, this quote is from one of the students who recently died. Unfortunately, he recently died. He is from Kenya. He was from Kenyan College, and he went to Egypt for his internship or like that. And he went there to teach English for the students. And there was revolution. There is, I think, currently also revolution in Egypt, and he was stabbed to death. And he wrote this letter to his one of the student mentor. He was a mentor, and he wrote to that don't blame others for your mistakes. It makes you big. You are strong men who do not need to be weighed down by people who complain and say negative things. Speak with conviction and believe in yourself, because your personal confidence is just as important as your achievements. So this talks about here how important confidence is. Don't think about the negative character, or I used to think I did have a nice score in SAT or TOEFL or in SAT of this, and I think with this score can I get admission to the colleges? And I removed this thought in second, because yeah, I came to know that SAT is not like that only. SAT, yeah, SAT is very important. If you get nice score, then it is benefit for you. But if you get low score, that is not the end of the world for you.
We have a real winner here. It's application essay, and it will be the most important part of your application essay, application component. What does it helps to do is it helps to define who you are actually in a person. Admission officer do not know you by your SAT scores, by your academic grade, but they know you by your application essay. I getting 2400 in SAT and he getting 2400 in SAT might not be the same. And that what determines a real winner here is the application essay. In application essay, you have to possibly try to show that you have struggled something, you have tried to overcome that thing, and that scenario really impresses your application your admission officials. So application essay is very important. You have to work on it for a very long period of time. Writing application essay in 1 or 2 days won't be that fine. You have to brainstorm on it from the very initial period of time, and you have to and if you have some peers or if you have some friends, you can consult with them as well. You can give them to peer review. as well. So I think that will make your application essay more stronger, and always try to keep in mind that in your application essay, try to show your originality. Don't plagiarize from others, and don't try to be what you are not.
College choices, don't be very much selective in college choices. What I suggest to you that don't go to your rankings and take top 10 colleges and send your application to that top 10 colleges, because it will hamper your chances, because there is much more competition when you see in top colleges. What I did is I started to search college, and in my previous year I applied to around 10 colleges only, and that was not very much useful, because if you need to search colleges that provide scholarship also, if you need scholarship, because I applied to around like 10 colleges, and some of the colleges even accepted me but did provide me scholarship. That can be demerit for you, because you want scholarship, and you can start from there. Because if you go to college website and if you search for every colleges in there, if they have scholarship, then they will give you. Like for me in American University, there was only one scholarship for international students, and they called it like International Global Leadership Scholarship. I came to know about it, and I applied there, and also I didn't submit my SAT score, because they didn't want SAT score to be considered in their application. So I sent like my application, my TOEFL score, and like that, and they admitted me with like full scholarship. So I suggest you, like, don't select only top 10 colleges or top 20 colleges or top 30 colleges. Go for colleges, because you can apply up to 20 colleges. Also, that was also a big mistake for me in first year, because I applied to 10 colleges only during my first year, but in my second year I searched more colleges that provide scholarship, and I applied to around 20 colleges. So don't think that if you apply for more colleges, there is more chances, but you need to work more hard, because you need to write more supplements as well. So if you are much determined that I can get admission and I can apply to more colleges, then apply. But if you think that if I apply to 10 colleges, then I can get admission, then you can do that, because no one is going to force you that you should apply to this much colleges. So if you consider yourself like you can search your college, you can find scholarship, and so look at the college website whether they will provide the scholarship that you may need. So look at the colleges and search. And if you don't find anything, then you can email to admission officer. They are very much helpful. If they will provide scholarship, they will tell. If they don't provide, then they will tell that we can't provide this type of scholarship. If you want this type of scholarship, then we can't help. Please apply to all colleges. They are very much helpful. So be careful while selecting colleges.
Okay, so again there, SAT. SAT, as I told you earlier, will help you to tell the admission officer about how academically can you adjust to the academic situation. And SAT is also very important for merit-based education, as I told earlier. There will be certain kinds of requirement for your merit-based scholarship. Like if you get 1340 in SAT, you will get this much scholarship. There are like your guaranteed scholarship. You know, if you get some kind of scholarship, some kind of SAT score, you will be able to predict that whether you have some kinds of chances at some safety college or not. Because safety colleges, and there will be various requirement with colleges about the SAT minimum score requirement, and you can consult with admission officer, or you can consult at their website for the details. And as we have already discussed, that application essay is important, college shortage is important, confidence is important, and SAT is also equally important as them. Good score at SAT will never harm you.
Let me tell first of all about SAT only, and I want to add something. You may be confused that one is telling SAT is important, another is telling SAT is not important, and you may be confused like that. Yeah, if you have a high score, that is beneficial for you, because you can, there is you can see 25 to 75 percentile in your college. If you look at your college requirement, they will give, there is no absolute requirement for SAT, but they will look at, they will tell that this is 25 percentile, this is 75 percentile, and if you fall in between that, that is very nice. But if you have low score, then they are not going to tell that these applications should be thrown out because of SAT. If you have low score also, you can apply. They will consider your other components. If you can't show through your SAT, then you can show through other components. And yeah, for merit-based scholarship, he was telling about merit-based scholarship. Yeah, they have absolute requirements, and you are not going to be accepted. Like you, if you don't have that score, they are not going to accept your application. So it is important that you consider that SAT is important for important but not very important. So for certain requirements. Okay, discover yourself. Actually, I'm going to what happened during my this second gap year. I'm going to tell about that. I started my volunteer works in SOS. How many of you do know about SOS? Yeah, it is an international organization that runs for orphans also, as well as for economically disadvantaged children. What I started is I started to teach as a full-time teacher in SOS, and I started to go at 10, and I used to return at 4, and also I started to tutor tutor the students of higher secondary level. And during that time, I discovered myself that I have the character of leadership. I can tutor students. Because I used to like that. I used to think that I'm like weak students. I can't do anything like that. But later on, I came to know that I can do that. And take a step ahead to go there. Because don't feel shy or don't feel that what they will think if I go there. Because I used to think like if I go to SOS, what will my friends tell that he's very much over smart that he's going to the school and teaching. Don't think like that. And my principal sir is also very much helpful, because when I told that I have at least this gap here and I have nothing to do, but can I come there and do? He very much welcomed me to there, and I went there and I teach students. And what I found is that I also tutor some of the students from village, because that school is for village students also. Do you know village means students? They have a separate home for village students. Those who are orphans, those who cannot pay for school, they go there and stay, and they have also one mother, and there will be around 10 sons or daughters, they call sons or daughters, and they stay there. And actually, when I used to tutor village children, they used to tell me about their problem, how one mother cannot look after 10 children. They can't look after 10 children, and they want me to advise how can they be ahead. And they used to be very much weak in stories, and I told that, I gave a suggestion for that. And later I told this to my admission officers. I told that I did this during my gap year. I didn't still idle during my gap year. I did this work during my gap year, and they were very much impressed by it. And they even like that. They even want me to tell more about that. And even what admission officer told that you are very much lucky that you are going to such an international organization and doing like this. And we are very much impressed. And I think that helped a lot during my second process.
Okay, I would like to add to that also as well. About discovering yourself, what we really mean to say is that you have to do something aside from college application that you are really interested in. No matter what the outcome of college application will be, you won't regret at last that a year has been wasted. You will at least learn something new from that experience. Okay. Since you will be having having to prepare for SATs, you have to write your personal essays. You have to ask teachers to write recommendations. And if you are in gap year, your parents will be put pressure on you, saying that your friends have already started bachelor's degree. And if you are in senior high school, your teachers will pressurize you by saying that you will degrade your grades. So, in fact, this year is going to be full of chaos. So, I would like to present a quote, another quote. It's from a popular television show, Games of Thrones. Is there anyone who has watched it? Games of Thrones. Anyone recognize this face? Okay. Heroes isn't a feat. You don't have to stay in this level. You don't have this set for every period of your life. You have this for just a year. It is a ladder. What does it do? If you succeed from this application process, you will go to your next level of your life. Many who try to try it, fail and never get to try again. The fall breaks them. Many who start this application process thinks that stats are very difficult. Writing essay is very difficult. They try to skip it and they think that they will never be able to master them. And some are given a chance to fly, but they refuse. They cling to the gods, rock bottom fate, illusion. Others who are given a chance to complete the application process, usually most of the time they think that college application results is based on their mark. God decides where you go, and they think that they don't put their own efforts on it. So, but they are but only illusions. Only the ladder is real. Only this chaos is real. The climb is all there is. You know what to do to get out of this chaos. Okay, that's all. If you have any questions, please put forward.
Questions? We'd love to have questions. Because yeah, we are around 2 years experience, and you are just new students. And if you like, yeah, then tell.
Who are guidance counselors? Are they our teachers of high school?
No, they are going to be your teachers. Like you have like +2 coordinator or like principal. You can make your principal also as guidance counselor. The person who knows you a lot, who can write about you a lot, you make them, because you are going to share your personal view and you are going to tell that I am going to apply to US colleges and I need your special care because there is so much to do by your guidance counselor. So tell, so you can make, if you don't have any guidance counselor, you have choice to make anyone as a guidance counselor. So make the one who knows you a lot.
You wrote the workout with application essay and supplement or long. What is that supplement?
What's that supplement?
Yes, work out with application essay and supplement for a long time. Okay. So we know application essay. What is that supplement?
Supplement, yeah. Actually, application, there is going to be only one application essay. You are going to send one application essay through Common App. But every college has like this requirement. Maybe some colleges don't have, but most of the colleges have like supplements. They are going to make you write separate essay. Apart from your application essays, they want more essays from you. They want to write, they like the supplement maybe like why you want to come to this college or anything like they are going to give you a quote and you have to elaborate about that.
You can think them as a explanation
Yeah.
as well.
You can search in college website. You can just like you can for Whitman College you can just type supplements of Whitman College, then you can see the questions there on. Any questions?
How do you get your recommendations in our case, in the civil society, if you go to get our recommendations written, they just say, write it by yourself, you just sign them. Can you say that your experience?
It was pretty much, we had, it was like a choice between for us. If we ask our teachers to write recommendation, they would only do something, they would take from past previous years recommendation and only change our name and send it to the college and give that same format to every student. And that was all.
Yeah, if they find out that you are writing your own recommendation, then they will cancel your application. That is very much risky for you. But what I suggest is take time, because you have, this is around July and you are going to apply around November, December, January. You have a lot of time. Go and meet your teacher or meet your guidance counselor. Tell them I am going to apply. You should write me, because it's their duty to write. They should not be that. Yeah, you can write and I will just edit and then I will send. This is not what. But most of the cases we have heard that the teachers didn't write and they themselves wrote and sent. So you should not do like that. If they are going to find that, because you are going to write your application essays and you are also writing your recommendation, and they may, if by chance they know that you are writing in same pattern and they came to know that this person is writing their recommendation, and even in US like they don't allow to see your recommendation letter to the student. They just seal and send. Even this US student can't see their recommendation letter, and if they came to know that you are writing your own recommendation letter, then that would be very much
So it
risky.
is highly unrecommended.
Is it necessary that our recommendations should be written only by the teachers we are taught from? Or
No, you can just write to anyone who knows you a lot. If from
it can give you that, you can say that you are a different person from other. maybe like teacher might say that say same thing to you and your friend. But if you know someone very closely under whom you are working, it cannot be your friend.
Actually, if you're a teacher from your school also, yeah, after you have completed either +2 or A level. If you're a teacher from class 9 and not 10, not from that nursery teacher.
Yes,
From,
Yeah,
from
high school teachers, I have checked one of my class teachers competition as well, and they said,
was it work, sir?
yeah, they said it would work.
actually, they want to know your character.
But first you have to ask to admission officer and say that my high school teachers is not really right recommendation letter, so can I get it from
Yeah.
my junior school?
Yeah, they are very much helpful. If you have any doubts, you are very much like welcome to ask question to your admission officer. Just go to the email address and just write email. Actually, I have a lot of time. Yes, so I started to do in school, and also I did there was one organization, Himalayan Animal Rescue Trust. It is in Pokhara, and it used to look after stray dogs. And I also worked for some time there. And also, whenever I used to get chance to know about it, because in Kathmandu there are a lot more works to do, because there are many organizations here, but like that there is no opportunity for the students outer valley. But if you search, then you can find it. And if I get chance to do, but I think my volunteer work in SS and SS Village helped for that, covered for my extracurricular activities.
I would like to add to your answer. By meaning extracurricular, you don't necessarily have to do something against your will. I mean, like if you are really interested in physics and for the sake of doing extracurriculars, if you go and save some animals, that is not that good. What you can do is you can instead carry out some research works. I mean, not in that. It should not be that complicated. It can be some simple things, but you can at least carry it out. So do things that you enjoy most.
Yeah, I want to add to it. If you are telling about physics research, being about physics, if you invent something, you can make video or you can take photos and send to the application to the admission office that I did this, and they will be very much happy to see that.
As you mentioned, I haven't completed my high school. So, did you get rejected last year because you have not got the complete credit of your
No, that's not the case. Most of the, as I already said earlier that most of the US students go to college after their senior year, and only few take gap years. That was not the case, but what in my application was mainly college research, and I could not take more time to application.
And did you inform the college?
You won't be disadvantaged in any way because you are a senior student.
I don't know how much true is, I have not seen, but what I heard is Harvard is telling that you should take a gap year for international studies. I don't know, I am not 100% sure, but Harvard suggested that to take one gap year, one gap year for your application process. I don't know, you can see at the website also.
There are some colleges like Lafayette, I think they take only acceptance as well. I mean, if you are in junior year, that is 11th grade year, you can apply to colleges and get acceptance as well for up to 2 years.
This is necessarily voluntary. We are doing something.
You can do something on someone person. You have to do it voluntary.
Suppose if you are doing something out of our study, then you are paid for it. Is that?
Yeah. You can tell about that. In my case, I didn't get much money. I didn't get money for teaching I did here. But what I did is I tutor students of class 11, 12, and I get paid off. And I also mentioned that I tutor the students of class 11 and 12, and that didn't hamper me. Instead, they were excited that you are quite busy person. You are doing a lot of works. During that time, I was also busy from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. And I told that during the interview that I did during this time like this, and they were very much happy. And they thought that that the gap year was very much fruitful for me. Any questions?
So what do you mean by gap year? Is it like we are here you will be applying to these for.
Yeah. Actually, if you have just completed your high school like that, and you are not doing, you are not going to school or colleges in this process, and that is your gap year. And I think it is 2 gap year for me. I don't know. It is 1 gap year for him because on the first lot of application process, it was just in high school only. But I had already completed my colleges, and I took gap year again, and next gap year also. So it was 2 gap year for me. And if you gap year means if you don't go to college or school, then that is your gap year.
Yeah,
Easy words, if there is some year between time you didn't go to school, then it is probably a good gap year.
You passed your high school in 2018.
Yeah.
Suppose a person completing these 3-year bachelor and his again starts bachelor in USA, then is it for gap year?
I think we are not the person to answer these questions.
You can come to
Yeah,
You can ask the advisors of USEF.
you mentioned earlier that you got just listed in diamond college. Saurabh brother had applied there, you could have got accepted.
That are those chances. I cannot predict what would happen if he had not applied. He did apply, so I didn't.
What I need to ask is, does such kind of license matter or not?
That might be case, but I can not say yes.
Well, you took gap year, you please share about the experience, how much percentage it was.
Yeah, I can do it. Actually, during, I was coming to the end of application process. It was frustrating for me during that time. Until that time, I was not frustrated because I was enjoying application moment. But when the decision was going to come, I used to think that whether I can get admitted or not. I have already taken two gap years, and if I'm not getting admission this time, then it would be a huge bizarre for me like that. Because I used to tell to my relatives that I'm applying to US education and I'm taking this gap year. And while not getting acceptance, like I did apply only decision like that. And when I didn't get acceptance, I thought like that. Yeah. Also, Sanna ma'am used to interact with me, and she used to tell me that go and join some colleges because it. Yeah. And I also suggest you, if you are taking gap year, then go and do it because it is going to be like your backup plan. If you are not going to, unluckily if you didn't get admission. Unluckily you didn't get admission, you have at least backup plan, yes? At least you are continuing your education and you can continue that education. What I don't recommend is that don't stay idle. Even I did the volunteer box. I should have joined some colleges because if I didn't get admission, then it would be like a lot of
In my case, I was at my first gap year. What basically I tried to do was I tried to do everything I enjoyed. I went to Spanish class sessions. I went to learn violin. I used to tutor, so I was very much busy. So I did get a chance to think that how frustrating life was, maybe something like that. In fact, I wanted some more time to do some more things that I was interested in. I think best way to utilize the gap year is do this. Apply to colleges and do something that interests you, as you have already told.
I want to add something also. What I suggest is that if you are taking more gap year, what I suggest is that you may heard about safety colleges also like that, where you have high chances of getting admission. Not like you are going to get admission, but you have high chances. And what I did was I searched in college competition. It is very much useful website. You can go and search. They have a very much thread. And if you also didn't see like safety college, you can ask there. Can you please suggest any safety college for me? And you can just suggest. They will just suggest that the name is very much confidential, so they know that it's like college confidential. If you ask there and if you ask for safety college, they will help you and they will give you that name. And you can apply out 2-3 safety colleges. If you don't get any colleges, then you can go to yours.
Did you give again side exam?
Yeah, I gave. Like this year, I gave only the TOEFL score of previous worked out for me. This year, I gave only SAT and SAT 2.
How were you balancing like psychological on one side and SAT on another side?
Yeah, SAT is not everything. Like I used to study around 1-2 hours because I had been studying one more. I had already studied 1 year, and I'm also again studying SAT. So it is going to be like mad for studying all this SAT. No. So I just walked for like to look, and that was only the one. I didn't think a lot about SAT, and I think that what so I did get like much more high school.
What was your science?
Do you want to know? Let's see. Okay, I gave SAT for 3 times. First time I got 1500, then second time I got 1670, and third time I got 1850. That is the improvement. That was the college. The college was the improvement.
Excuse me, I want to know about like 3 other colleges. Do they accept the student in their main and do they provide a scholarship?
About admissions, yes they do. About it, I don't know. Sorry.
Did you took Spanish first at
I just took science classes.
In SAT, you can take subjects that you are comfortable. Maybe it was not comfortable, that was comfortable with Spanish because it was just learning in the case of learning, and it is going to be much complex if you are still learning and you are going to give a Spanish test. So be confident that you can get better score if you apply. If you take that test.
Different requirements like you have to do listening test as well as listening speaking test as well. So I think that would be very good for this practice.
So you said about extracurricular activities. So you said that you joined SOS to act as a volunteer.
Yeah.
So will they provide you something, or it's just only your experience?
No. Like I'm going to that. It's like truth. Okay. I used to get only 3,000 by cutting my tiffin also, and it used to be 2,500. I'm going from 10 to 4, and I'm getting just 2,500 as a pocket money.
Will you have to show something about SOS to them, or you have to just tell them?
No, they will believe you when you will tell, because just don't tell that if you are not doing and you tell that I am doing this, that will be wrong for you, because if they know that, then there will be problem. But if you are doing something and if you tell them, then they will believe you that you are doing this, because you are going to share experience about that. If you don't have any experience, how are you going to express about that? So you should be like, yeah, you don't need to go take certificate. Look, I did this, and look at the certificate, and this is my proof proof for my volunteers. Don't do like that. Then if you tell them, they will believe you.
So this means we have to tell the admission officer.
Yeah. Do you know about resume? Resume? No. You can make like resume. Resume is the list of extracurricular activities. You can just mention there. And what I did was I also mentioned it in my essays also, not in my application essays. In my essays, I used to tell that. And how I expressed my volunteer work was I told that about that in my interview. I shared my experience in the interview, and they were like impressed by that.
Interview with admission officer.
Yeah, with admission. Yeah, with admission officer, they assign you like senior students also. They may the students who are studying in the colleges, and those who want to like do intern in admission officer, and they will just assign you. Even there is no ability of admission officer, you can just they will assign you someone maybe from this, maybe the students of that college also.
Not all colleges take interviews, right?
Yeah, you can ask with the admission officers. Yeah, not college. Most colleges recommend you to take interview, but you can ask whether they can provide you interview or not. Yeah, if they can provide you, it will be a plus point for you. If you are not provided, then you will be not you will not be demeritated by that. That interview will not affect your application process.
What are your expectations from your policies?
Look,
The reality is different, right?
what type of expectation are you?
What do you expect from your policy?
Okay, I didn't clearly understood your question, but
What are you going to expect from your policy?
like, can you give examples? Academics or okay, like Whitman College, during my postdoc only, Whitman College was my dream college. Like, I didn't imagine about going to Harvard or Princeton or like that, because you have to see your profile also. Yeah, you are just you want some person, because Harvard, Princeton are not only the place where you can get your best. There are other places that you can also get best. And Whitman was my best, like my dream college. And I used to search every case, and I used to email admission offers. I used to ask them. And yeah, it is like Whitman is like top 10 in British writing in for academics also, quality of life, and I think for the friendliness, Whitman is in top 10. I don't know about you.
My expectation about this. What I would like to say is that I expect like it has very good marine engineering program, which I think are used in US. So I think my engineering, mechanical engineering.
Just look your major, whether the college provides your major or not.
Not be that bad, I guess, and I expect to be part of various international organizations like ESME, Society for Mechanical Engineers, and there are other organizations like Nepal Association. I used to be part of those, and I used to have a great life there. I expect.
Just look at financial aid and majors, whether these two will work out or not, and then you can proceed on the
When applying to liberal art colleges, you may just go to the colleges and there are liberal colleges that will suit your interest. But how to get sure that they provide the major or something?
You can look at the college website. They will just.
Majors.
Or you can also go to college. You can just Google, type the name of the college, and you can go to academics, and they will list the major as well as minors.
So we can really see like engineering, which meaning engineering in such colleges.
For that, you can, I think you can filter source through college board. You can put the major of mechanical engineering, and you can search all colleges, and even show those liberals with engineering as well.
Is Whitman College is the best?
Yeah, English.
And what are the strongest point from your side for acceptance in this college?
My strongest, I told about like that. Like my volunteer works and my essays, my recommendation letters. Even small component makes a lot for you, because even for like recommendation letter, I told about it. People consider it as a small factor because the teacher will write it and provide it, and they don't consider about it. But what I told about what I did, because whatever your guidance counselor writes, they believe that. They are the person who are going to express you, and they are 100% sure that that person is telling the truth. So if you tell them to write, and that was the strong point. And my interview was also the very much nice. I would like to tell the interview for first one and for volunteer works and explication like that. And like at last I said.
Last one or two questions. So last one or two questions.
So will you suggest to declare the major before we do this? Will you suggest to declare the major?
Yeah, if you want, you can declare a major. But what I have heard from the experience of other students who have went to US and came, that if you declare major, it will be not the problem, because if you go there, you can study other subjects also. You are not going to study your majors only. You will study other subjects also. And if you are interested in that other subjects, you can shift from that major to another major. So declaring a major is not a problem.
Does it limit our scholarship?
No, I don't think so.
But it might affect your admission chances, as because they will be just predicting how many students they will be taking for engineering, how many students they will be taking for physics course. They will be just estimating according to their class sizes. So you may be advantaged as well as disadvantaged as well.
But if you go undecided, also there will be not a lot.
Excuse me, can I ask you one more question?
Yeah.
During my high school, I had a teacher who used to teach me English.
Yeah.
I had a good relation with him.
Okay.
But I'm planning to take biology as a major.
Okay.
So I have also a bio teacher who has just fine relation with me.
Okay.
So, to your experience, should I make my English teacher as a guidance counselor or a bio teacher?
Yeah, I mentioned you previously that you should make guidance counselors who are very close and who knows a lot more about you. If you have a nice relation with your English teacher, you can make him or her as your guidance counselor, because it will be not a problem. But make sure that he or she can express you a lot, and they can show you your character a lot to the admission officials. It's up to you. No one can decide who you will make guidance counselor.
We'll ask for one or two closing thoughts from each
both work hard.
Don't get nervous, don't get frightened, just be confident and do your best.